Stop what you are doing and listen, truly listen. For if you miss what I am about to reveal, you may walk through the rest of your life poor-minded, when in truth you were born with riches. Riches not of gold or silver, but of thought, of will, of infinite potential, buried deep within the chambers of your own mind. Before riches come to any man or woman, there must first come desire, not hope, not a wish, but a burning, pulsating desire that knows no retreat. Every triumph this world has ever known, every great invention, discovery, or empire, began as a single spark in the mind of one who dared to believe it could be done. That spark was desire, the birth of success. Let me be clear, wishing will not bring riches. Wishing is idle. It drifts with the wind. But a definite desire, shaped by vision, strengthened by faith, and held with persistence, that desire is power. The man who merely wishes for riches sleeps in comfort. But the man who desires riches, truly desires them, stays awake at night, turning ideas into plans and plans into action. His desire becomes obsession. His obsession becomes motion. And that motion bends the world to his will. Understand this truth. Success does not come to the man who waits for the perfect moment. It comes to the man who creates the moment through the strength of his desire. He does not wait for permission. He gives it to himself. He does not ask the world to open a door. He builds one and walks through it. Every man who has ever risen from nothing to greatness began in exactly the same place with a longing so fierce it could not be ignored. That longing became purpose, and that purpose, when combined with unbreakable faith, transformed into wealth, invention, power, and progress. Desire, you see, is not a polite wish whispered to the heavens. It is a command issued from the soul. It is the declaration that says, I will. Not I hope, not I might, but I will, and nothing shall stop me. There is a difference between those who dream and those who achieve. The dreamer imagines what could be, and then returns to sleep. The achiever imagines what could be, and then rises from bed, his mind aflame, his hands ready, his heart unshaken. He may fail once, twice, or 100 times. But to him, failure is not defeat. It is the sharpening of his desire. Each obstacle strengthens his will. Each setback fuels the fire. Drampa the pals, crits which you roll. You will know when your desire is strong enough, because it will no longer ask for your attention. It will demand it. It will wake you in the early hours and whisper, go again. It will not let you rest until it is made real. And when that day comes, when your desire becomes so vivid that you can see the vision behind your eyes as clearly as you see the world before them, you will have crossed the invisible line between wishing and becoming. That is the birth of success, the moment when a single burning thought becomes the very force that moves your life. For in that instant, desire ceases to be an emotion, it becomes a law. And that law, once obeyed, reshapes reality itself. How desire takes form. Labens, you must fix in your mind the exact amount of money or success you seek. Do not say, I want plenty. Say instead, I will have this much, and I will earn it by this means. This is where most people fail. They wish vaguely, they think loosely, they drift through life with uncertain goals. They say they want wealth, yet cannot define what wealth means to them. They want freedom, yet cannot describe what freedom looks like. And because their aim is undefined, their efforts scatter like arrows shot into the fog. But you must be precise. Set the target so clearly in your mind that every thought, every decision, every habit bends itself toward that purpose. When you know exactly what you want, life begins to align around that knowing. Doors you never saw before begin to appear. The right people cross your path. The right ideas come at the right time, not by accident, but by the magnetic pull of a definite purpose. The vague wish whispers, the definite desire commands. One is a murmur that fades in the wind. The other is a voice that shakes the ground beneath it. To think clearly, with certainty, is to direct the unseen forces that govern opportunity and outcome. You must see it, feel it, believe it, until your very soul vibrates with the image of what you intend to create. Close your eyes and imagine, not the hope of success but its possession. What would it look like? What would it sound like? How would it feel to stand in that moment where your dream is no longer a dream but reality beneath your hands? Hold that picture. Breathe it in until it feels as real as the ground beneath your feet. For every great creator first lived their success in the mind, long before they saw it in the world. Write your desire clearly. Speak it aloud each day. Let it sink deep into the fabric of your belief until the impossible begins to sound reasonable and the reasonable begins to sound inevitable. Each repetition strengthens the pattern in your mind. It builds a bridge from the invisible to the visible. As you repeat your desire, emotion attaches itself to the words, and those emotions ignite action. That is how thought becomes form. That is how belief turns into result. For when the mind is dominated by a definite desire, it has no room for doubt. And doubt, my friend, is the destroyer of dreams. Doubt creeps in softly, disguised as logic, as realism, as the cautious voice of reason. Yet it kills more dreams than failure ever could. It tells you to wait for the right time, though no such time exists. It whispers that you are not ready, not capable, not worthy, and in believing it you make it so. But the mind ruled by desire has no space for such weakness. It pushes forward, sustained by a vision so vivid that even the darkest night cannot dim its flame. And that is the mind that commands destiny.